Over in AEW, a bit of AEW news for those that keep up with me. I will repeat it again and again and again. I will usually watch pro wrestling mainly for the females. The females are my first priority unless they have a super, super dope male storyline or match or something that gets my attention. So with that said, this is the feud that I believe no one is really talking about. Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purazzo. And I've had my eye on this for a while. So let me do a little bit of history and a little bit of, but let me just go into it. Usually with your feuds, let's just go with the Cody, Rock, Roman thing, right? That ran, like a month or two, right? From the time they did, because the big slap and whatever, I think that was like in February. Then it rolled over to March, and the first week in April is WrestleMania. So it was about a month and a half. That's your average. Then after he won the title, he feuded with AJ. That went like maybe a month and a half, if not two, because he wrestled against him at two events, PLEs, right? As well as, like, let's say Sammy and Breaker, right? That's a wrap right now. It's a wrap. This feud is a classic feud between these two women. What I mean by classic takes me back to old school feuds, Flair, Rhodes, where Dusty, that is, where they could feud for years. You know, they have big money matches according to Ric Flair. Then Flair would go off and feud. Like, Flair was known for having like mad feuds, man, with different people that would just switch back and forth. Dusty was one of them. Steamboat another. Dude, I mean, yeah. Anyhow, I don't want to go down to the Flair iconography right now, but with these women, this feud goes back to May. It might be April, but it's been rocking. I'm just saying May, right? That's 4 months. May, June, July. It culminated a few days ago, which is in August. Is it completely over? I don't know. From my recollection, it started on a Saturday night. I believe it was on Collision. They had wrestled in Jacksonville. And that will always be the COVID station, the COVID arena, because that's where they set up their home base in 2020. So I can visualize that match. I believe Thunder Rosa got the best of her. And yeah, she did. Thunder Rosa beat her. And then on the little stage area, they got into a war words, what ended up turning into a bigger fight. And that's when Deonna started giving her what I call the Italian chin up yours, swiping the chin, whatever. And I believe that's what kind of kicked that off. Then after that, I believe they had 2 or 3 other matches. And she even said in the promo, and it escapes me because some time had passed, where Deonna was wiped the floor with her. They had a street fight, I believe, and Deonna beat her. And then I had found out last week that they had a lumberjack match. And with the help of Taya Valkyrie, she had won. I'm sorry, I shouldn't even be dropping these spoilers. Maybe you guys might want to go and check it out. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. That's usually not like me. So Thunder then challenges her to a Texas bull rope match. And at this point, I'm saying, all right, because Deonna already stressed, I had beaten you so many times. And now she's doing this. They're going to do this match, this bull rope match. And of course, I'm sitting here like, all right, well, Thunder has to win at least one, unless my memory is accurate. As I stated, she won that first one on that Saturday night. Spoiler, quick spoiler. So if you want to bounce, you can bounce. Long story short, Dramatic pause so you can bounce. Thunder takes the win. And as far as I know, that is the end of the feud. I'm not sure. I will take my hat off. I will tip my hat to Tony Khan, as much shit as I give him, to okaying this feud, because these days in this era, it's like I said, it goes a month and a half, 2 months, and then they're on to the next one. As I stated, this ran on for a while. And they were pretty consistent. Just my theorizing, Deonna just appeared on AEW earlier this year. And I'm going to guess, my theory is that because Thunder Rosa has seniority, and she's probably, because she was injured, she was off TV, and she's basically rebuilding back her character. As far as, because they do wins and losses. I'm wondering I'm theorizing that she spoke with Khan and they got together and came up with this idea. Now, I do remember Thunder wrestling Deonna. To my knowledge, the first time was in TNA Impact when Deonna had the open challenge and she had the titles when she was champ. So there is a history there. Of course, they never bring it up to my knowledge, not on AEW, but beside the point. So for him to give this say-so, for him to allow this to go on so long, it's cool because she is not the top of the pile anymore. It used to be her and Britt Baker, and they had, they were known for their feuds. And then backstage, from my knowledge that I've gathered, sniffed around, heard, read, Conan is a really great source for stuff like this as well, because he's actually back there and he tells the fucking truth on his podcast. I don't know about my sources told me, but he tells the truth. And from my knowledge, Britt Baker has been a problem and continues to be a problem. I should even make that into his own episode, but especially for somebody that they're making one of the faces of the company. I'll say this for another thing. Let me get back to the Thunder Rosa Deonna thing. The fact that she went to Khan and Khan okayed this is sweet because Thunder has to reestablish herself. They've had her on Dynamite from time to time, but this storyline with her and Deonna, they've taken it to the side shows, not the main Collision and Rampage. And they were like, basically, from my theorizing, like, we're going to make the best of these two shows. We're not the headliners. Deonna's slowly working her way up. She had that one match with Toni Storm. And then after that, kind of fizzles out. And she should be headline material, but that's my, when you subtract Tony, you give him the credits for this, then you got to take certain shit away. But for them having this side story that goes on this long and reestablishes them as establishes one and reestablishes another talent, female talent that's within their company, and builds them back up so that they can move to, I guess, what is deemed the main show as being Dynamite. So, and just to see a feud go on this long, it's classic. And I hope it doesn't end there. I personally, when I was watching the last match, I was like, you have the Virtuosa and Thunder Rosa. They would make a good tag team. It'd be cool if they also had women's tag titles, but they don't. Either way, they can at least have a tournament, and maybe they team for a while, and then it goes off and breaks off into another, a feud again. If they're just going to go old school with it, this would be a really good step in the right direction. So to wrap it up, I want to say hats off to them, and hats off to AEW and Tony Khan for allowing this to go on and not shortchanging this and cutting it short and I'm wondering if Thunder Rosa now is going to feud with Taya Valkyrie because she had some input in that feud as well. Who knows? I don't know. It was good to see this. And I guess at some point I'll get to the Britt Baker drama. And there's other things with her as well that one is her fault, one isn't her fault. It's AEW Tony Khan shit again. So with that note, I'm out. Ladies did excellent. If you cats, you wrestling fans, because I don't say guys and gals, which I just did. Anyhow, if you get a chance to go into the history and go catch those matches anywhere, I suggest you do. It's a really nice feud, classic, one for the ages, and I'm out.